Assalamualaikum to panels. My name is Ahmad Nazmi bin Mohd Yusof. My matrix number is CN190008. Now I will be present about my final year project, that is mechanical development of autonomous system on electric go-kart. My supervisor is Dr. Muhammad Faisal bin Hushid. The first part of this presentation is the research background. Autonomous vehicle can sense its surrounding and operate without the involvement of the human. So no passenger is needed to control or available in the vehicle. The autonomous vehicle also able to move around because of its ability to sense the environment and also detect and identify object and environment around it. So the autonomous vehicle is equipped with sensors, actuators and controller to run software in the autonomous vehicle. Next is the problem statement and objective. For the problem statement, the go-kart still use the pedal accelerator for throttle system, and for the braking system it is not complete and not functioning. So both of the system need to be replaced to add the new autonomous system on the go-kart. Next, the first objective is to investigate the suitable mechanical component for autonomous system on electric go-kart. Second is to develop mechanical components of autonomous system based on selected mechanical component on electric go-kart. The third is to assemble the mechanical component and sensors at suitable places on the go-kart. And fourth is to test the performance of the autonomous system on the go-kart. So for the next part is the scope of study. My first scope of study is the region of study focuses on mechanical component such as servo motor, potentiometer and also mechanical disc brake. Second scope is the functionality of a brushless DC motor is depend on servo motor which is SG90, and then the 10,000 ohm potentiometer and the Arduino Uno. And for the third scope is the mechanical disc brake functionality depends on servo motor MG995 and the mechanical disc brake pump and also the Arduino Uno. And my last scope is the all data establishment is from the experiment only. Next is the literature review. So autonomous system contains 6 level of automation, which starts from level 0 until level 5. As for level 0, which is no automation, is the driver is completely take control of the vehicle. Next is level 1, the driver assistance. So the acceleration and braking system can be automated. Next is the level 2, which is partial automation. The system is able to changing in lane or stay in lane, but if the system detects any object in front, the steering input will go back to the driver. Next, for level 3 is the conditional automation, which it can detect and recognize traffic signs and traffic light. Then for level 4, which is high automation, the driver is not required to monitor traffic in safe condition, but if the system detects any object within its surrounding, the driver still need to take in charge of the vehicle back. And lastly, for level 5 is the fully automation, which all functions is fully automated and controlled by the system. So next is the servo motor. So servo motor is a type of motor that works with a servo drive, and it is essential component of a servo system. The servo motor is typically include both a load driving motor and a component for detecting the position, such as an encoder. The servo motor uses feedback from encoder and the set goal to precisely control the machine operation by adjusting the control quantity such as position, speed or torque. Next is the potentiometer or pot. So it is a type of resistor with a sliding or rotating contact that can adjust the voltage division between two of its terminal. So it is commonly used in electrical devices like audio equipment, volume control, and they are not typically used to directly control large amount of power, as the power lost by the potentiometer and the control load would be similar. Mechanical disc brake uses a simple cable tension system to engage the calipers, which push brake pads into the rotors to produce deceleration. So this type of brake known for their ability and ease of use. So the good quality metal or sintered brake pads are easy to replace and have a long lifespan. So it's can lasting more than 1,000 kilometers. So mechanical disc brake are best suited for application that requires static braking that can be manually applied. Next is the methodology of the experiment. So as shown in the slide is the flowchart of the experiment. So it starts with start, and then the introduction. Next is the literature review. Then the equipment of experiment. Next is the placement and connection of the equipment on electric go-kart. Then is the test procedure. So if the test procedure is succeed, then the data will be collected. If not, the placement and connection of the equipment needs to be checked and needs to be improved if has a problem. So after data collection is the analyzation and discussion, and next is the conclusion and final report, and then is end of the experiment. Next, for the equipment of the experiment. So the main thing uses in this experiment is the electric go-kart, which the electric go-kart has been made by the previous final year student for their final year project. Next is the other components used in the experiment, which is ultrasonic sensor, and then Arduino Uno, then the Toto Link power bank for power on the Arduino Uno, and then is the servomotor SG90 that will link with 10,000 ohm potentiometer to accelerate the go-kart. And then is the servomotor MG995 that will link to the Veroli rear mechanical disc brake pump for braking mechanism. For the placement and connection of equipment on electric go-kart, first is the sensor is placed on the front of the electric go-kart. Then the combination of servomotor SG90 and potentiometer is on the right side of the go-kart. Next is the Arduino Uno and the Arduino that is placed on the center of the go-kart. And lastly, at the back side of the go-kart is installed of mechanical disc brake pump and also servomotor MG995 that are connected with brake cable. So all the experiment have been done in Block D of University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, Pagoh. For the stop test of the go-kart is set at 48 degree of potentiometer, which indicates the lowest speed of the go-kart. Then the sensor is set at 1 meter for it to sense and make the motor at the go-kart to stop, and then for the braking to take place. So there's a line which indicate it should be stopped at the line, and then if the go-kart is stopped near the line, it is good. But if the go-kart stop more than the set line, the data will be obtained and the margin error will be calculated. Next is there are two formula that will be used in this experiment. For the first formula is torque of the servomotor to calculate the torque of the servomotor to rotate the potentiometer and to pull the cable brake. And next is the error percentage of measured distance and the real distance that the go-kart needs to stop. Next part in this presentation is the result and analysis. For the torque calculation, the servomotor SG90 and the servomotor MG995 has been calculated, and it is enough to rotate the potentiometer knob and also able to pull the cable brake, as the SG90 is strong enough to pull the light potentiometer knob, and also the MG995 is more than enough to pull the brake cable. Next, the potentiometer is able to be used to control the speed of the brushless DC motor with the potentiometer angle control. As in the graph, it shows that the speed is increased as the rotation angle of the potentiometer is also increased. For stopping time analysis, the graph shows that the time taken for the go-kart to stop with measured distance is increased as the speed of the go-kart is increased. So next is the error calculation. There are 5 calculation has been made, and the data has been converted into the table, which has made a graph. As the speed of the go-kart is increased, the time taken for the go-kart to stop is also increased, and the distance that the go-kart stop is also increased. As from the graph, we can see that the percentage error is in the increased motion. In conclusion, the experiment has been successfully concluded and all the objectives have been met. So all the mechanical components were implemented and successfully mounted on the go-kart. So the autonomous system was tested and found to be working well. The combination of servo motor and potentiometer able to control the acceleration and also the braking, and in this experiment more knowledge has been gained, and also can be used in the future. The last part of this presentation is overall project plan. All the experiment, all the data, and also the reports have been done before the due, and is shown in the slides of the Gantt chart. So that's all from me. Thank you.